Hey, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to cover the Old Man Logan trials now that this legendary event has returned, and it's back. For those of you that have not pushed them all the way to 7 yellow stars, it is available. This is not available in my endgame account. However, we can see this actually in the lower levels, which means this is obviously for those that haven't fully maximized them, guys. So, to be honest, not much has changed in the last month since we've covered this, but we'll go through once again the best teams and combinations of what you can see works. But keep in mind, they haven't changed this event in its entirety, in the sense that you still need the out of time team to go through it, as well as Cabal. But we'll talk about what we can do, the min-max in addition. If you're also interested to fully unlocking him, we can also cover some shortcuts as well, as there's different strategies that we can cover. And again, guys, this video is meant to be more of an overview and showcasing what works, what doesn't. If you want to see the actual gameplay footage of the individual nodes, I will also have that linked down in the description below, so that way you guys can click those videos for whichever difficulties you are having issues with. So right off the bat, the unlock here, as per usual, if you want to get the 4 yellow star of Old Man Logan versus the 5 yellow stars, these are the minimum missions that are required with all the scourges or packs activated and actually do that. So for example, if you want to unlock Old Man Logan here at 4 yellow stars on difficulty 8, you only have to do 8 missions with all scourges on. If you just simply want to get his unlock immediately by doing the 1 or 2 missions, what I personally recommend is, as you can see down there, difficulty 14 or 15, by using a gear tier 15 or 16 team, doing anywhere from 1 to 3 missions, depending on if you want the 4 yellow or 5 yellow. So there's a lot of shortcuts. I like this because of the fact that obviously you wouldn't need to necessarily build up out of time or Cabal in order to do that. You just need essentially, 5-6 strong tunes, maybe gear tier 16, 17, just to give yourself a little bit more cushion, and can get the job done like that as well. Having said that, this is the official one that they released on their website, and as you can see here, what I personally recommend is actually going through the difficulty 12 to difficulty 14, all the way down to 15, depending on what you want to do. But keep in mind, 12 and 13, if you want to unlock him, you do need to actually have some sort of out-of-time characters at 5 to 6 stars, depending on that difficulty there. Or, like I alluded to earlier, if you just want to completely skip the restrictions, you can actually do that, but you do need some higher built up, stronger characters in your roster to get the job done. Either way, the beauty of this trials event is that you can get the job done in multiple ways. It really just depends on if you want to build up the required teams and work your way through all the missions, or you can actually build up some stronger teams in your roster to actually shortcut your way through. But that doesn't necessarily get you all the all the red stars available for Old Man Logan. So just something to keep in mind there. But it does allow you to obviously get his unlock. Now, what I'm going to talk about next is the full completion. So what I refer to here is all the rewards that are available in the milestones. You can actually achieve that. So this is for those of you that aren't looking to just simply unlock Logan, but you want to actually unlock everything that's available in terms of rewards. We're going to be talking about that and all the different teams associated. So to min-max this, you need to ensure you have at least a minimum of 65 mods. And these are the 3 that I would personally recommend here, as you can see on screen on the left, in addition to World at War as well, with all the war abilities. The big one is Cosmic Crucible, Fortune Fire, and World at War, because both War and Cosmic Crucible bonuses are going to be live, which directly benefits Out of Time and Cabal. Then we have Godspeed Spider-Man, which allows Spire Society characters to gain some additional damage, Sinister Six characters gaining additional HP, and then as well, Berserker's Barrage, when any character defeats an enemy, fill up the speed bar for 20%. So this just helps kind of streamline the gameplay a bit to ensure that there is a little bit more efficiency involved. And again, if you're doing this at difficulty 15, only 9 nodes are completed for all rewards, which means you don't actually need to do the last and final node. If you do the 9 nodes with 65 mods activated, you will be able to unlock all the rewards available. So we can show that at the very end here. But let's talk about the individual nodes now, and what I personally recommend now that we have a more up-to-date meta in terms of what's relevant and what to invest in. So node 1, like I said earlier, any team can be used. So if you're going the difficulty 14, difficulty 15 route, there is no recommendation. Just use the best characters that you can, and completing the 1 node with all scourges or packs activated, you're going to be able to get Old Man Logan's unlock. So obviously, if you have War or Crucible teams, they're going to destroy, because with those packs activated, you'll have teams like Cabal, Out of Time, getting the benefit of that. You can also bring in Cabal and Out of Time to prep them in advance of the nodes that you'll be needing them later on, right? But again, feel free to use any teams, not required, because you can definitely auto this one. It's not difficult. Now, we got to talk about the linchpin of the bottleneck ultimately for the trials event, because Out of Time and Cabal are the 2 teams that are specifically required. So what I have on screen here, guys, both these teams that you see, they were able to get difficulty 15 with the majority of with those packs activated to actually allow you to get all the rewards. The reason I like showing this is because you can clearly see which characters out of each team are actually invested in and which ones you can save a bit. So let's talk about nodes number 2 here for out of time. You can see Captain America, Carter, in addition to Black Knight, really being that forefront and the key piece here of carrying with some of the other nodes later on that you'll see. But I like pointing this out because you can see you can save a bit there with Starbrand and Cosmic Ghost Rider not having invested in. So don't overinvest, guys. They are a fading war team, so they're not as relevant. In addition, like I said earlier, Black Knight is really the one you want to focus on. As you can see, he's the only one that has Crimson Red gear versus everybody else that has teal. Node 6 for Cabal. Absolutely love Cabal because of the value that they can give you in Crucible and War. And keep in mind, they're also having value in addition to unlocking Shadow King with his respective legendary events. So amazing team. Now that Emma Frost has been reworked in terms of statistically being more relevant again as part of that Hellfire Club raid team, she is definitely a lot more useful now, and you don't necessarily need to bring up Loki. He's just going to be a punching bag. And remember, when you do nodes 2 and node 6 completed, you don't need them again for the last and final node to unlock all the rewards for ultimately Old Man Logan here. So this is a little bit of value add that you can do. But personally, I would recommend building up Emma now that she is part of the raid required teams. Cosmic Bile, node 3 and node 7. So previously, we used some of the key Annihilator characters like Gore, Gladiator, in addition to Nova, Void Knight, and Super Skrull. So obviously, if you have Skrull, I think he's definitely one of the really cool characters that can synergize well. But the latest and greatest teams are always the best, guys. Highly recommend the new Fantastic Four MCU. They can completely tear these Cosmic Bile nodes completely apart. And then as well, what's nice is Hyperion, also part of Thunderbolts, can also be utilized here as value add. And remember, with his team also needing to be in raid, it's just nice that you can actually leverage quite a bit. Hero skill. We have 2 different approaches here for nodes 4 and node 8. Mainly node 4 is the one that's more difficult because of the fact that previously, as you can see on the left there, we needed a sacrificial team such as that one that you see on attack 1 there, destroying Captain Sam, Carter, and so forth to soak up damage. And then we brought in our Spire Society led by Black Knight once again being that staple piece. However, with the introduction now of Vigilante and characters like Lilandra being required for Age of X, I mean, it definitely just makes more sense to leverage value and take advantage of characters that you're going to be needing later on in other unlocks, right? Especially for Xavier. So personally, I would recommend bringing characters like Liberty, as you can see with Peggy Carter there. You can bring in some key members of Vigilante such as Hitmonkey, Daredevil Modern, Silver Sable, Punisher even. So it's amazing. Hero skill is now, it used to be the hardest node, but now it's so much easier with some of these key characters. I would still recommend Black Knight because he just does a boatload of damage. And then last but not least, nodes 5, nodes 9. Honestly, nothing to write home about here, guys. You can leverage, once again, the Cabal team because of their synergy and bringing in 2 villains that can absolutely destroy. So I just use Skrull and Apocalypse, but honestly, you can just, the list is endless here for villains because you have basically half your roster here being able to get used here. So massive. So there you guys have it. Oh, this didn't show for the max rewards. There you guys have it. This covers everything here in terms of the node playthrough that I would personally recommend. And again, if you guys can use some of these key characters, especially now part of the meta like Vigilante, Thunderbolts, in addition to Liberty members, or heck, even Fantastic Four, it's just going to make your runs even easier so you can maximize the utmost of the Old Man Logan trials here. So once again, guys, I'll link everything down below if you guys need to see the individual playthrough, but keep in mind, those videos were older, so they will be using the older teams, so they may not be as easy as the ones that you'll be using, especially some of these newer teams that have been released now. Do let me know down in the comments below. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.